Okay. Hey, folks, this is Gene from Regular Guy Mountain Biking. Thanks for tuning in to this bike chat this evening. I've got the folks online from Original Strength. You're going to learn all about what that means in just a couple moments. I've recently learned about what this whole organization is. It's really cool. They've got some great ways of helping you feel good again, getting your body back into the way it used to be when you were a kid. Their tagline, if you will, you know how I say keep the party on the pedals. Well, there's pressing reset. Press reset on your body, and we're going to learn a lot more about how that happens. And in order to do that, I'd like to introduce the folks that we have online. We drew straws, or actually I just picked. And we're going to introduce everybody right now. So first we're going to introduce Tim, then Dani, then Chris. So I'm going to give you folks the mic and let you introduce yourselves. And then we'll learn a little bit about OSI. And let's have some fun over here and talk. So go right ahead, Tim, and take the mic.
Hi, I am Tim Anderson from OSI. Is that all? What else am I supposed to do?
Well, you're supposed to turn your camera back on because all we see is a picture of you and your studliness right now.
How do I turn my camera on?
Do whatever you did, but do it opposite because now we just see you with a shirt that's really too tight for you.
My phone rung. I didn't do anything.
All right. Hey, I got a new order. Let's start with Dani while Tim finds the button. Oh, there's Tim. Tim's back again. There he is. There we go. Oh, this is going to be a good show, guys. This is going to be a good show. Now,
that shirt was a thermal.
It was a thermal? Okay. All I know is I just got like 5,000 more subscribers. They're all from some cheerleading squad or something like that. But I'm going to rock this mic tonight.
Wait till you see the clothes Dani wears.
Okay. Change the rating on this show. Tim, take the mic.
Well, hello again. I'm Tim. Now without it's actually me from OSI. Now it's Dani's turn, right? Or Chris's turn.
There you go, Dani.
All right. Hi.
Save us, Dani. Save us.
Hi, I'm Dani Almeida with Original Strength and Original Strength Institute. I have had the pleasure of working at the gym and with Original Strength for, I guess, going on 7 years now, getting to work with people of all different backgrounds and needs, and it has been really incredible and amazing. We're really looking forward to sharing a little bit more about what Original Strength and Pressing Reset is on this call, and we're super thankful to have us on the show. So thank you.
No, my pleasure. My pleasure. Chris, yeah. Chris, let's hear a little bit about Chris. Chris is a buddy of mine. We used to go to school together. I'll tell you how I got into this luckily from this kind man over here. Chris, come on. Let's hear about you.
What's going on? I'm Chris Jones. I am one of the coaches at Original Strength Institute. I've been in strength and fitness field for a little over 10 years now, and I think I've been with Dani and Tim for 5 years now, about 4 or 5 years.
It's been a
somewhere
while.
Around there. Yeah, about 4 or 5 years.
Cool. That was good. That was exciting. This is great. This is good. All right. I can feel the lightning bolts just shooting through the internet right now. All right. So, folks, here's the deal. I'm going to help out a little bit and describe what OSI is over here, and then we'll let the folks from OSI fix anything I may have said wrong. Here's the deal. I've learned a lot from reading one of Tim's books and actually taking the course. They were kind enough to let me do a sample of the course, and I'm going through it right now. And what you're going to learn about is that there's some key moves that they're teaching you that help you get your body back to where it was when you were a kid. If you think about it when you were a child, or if you think about if you have a child or seen a little kid, how they roll, how they move, they're not doing that because it's an accident. They're doing these moves for specific reasons to grow, and your body reacts to these different moves, and your body actually yearns for these moves. But now I sit behind a keyboard with a hunchback, and we start to forget what those moves are. And I'm hoping that we'll learn more about things like that. And I'm gonna pass it back over to maybe one of you folks and kind of fill in the gaps a little bit more, because I don't have an OSI t-shirt, so I technically really shouldn't go too much further than that about explaining what OSI really is.
Sure.
So, do you want it, Dani? Do you want me to go?
No, you go.
So OSI, Original Strength Institute, basically we're founded on original strength, and that is the idea that your body is made to be healthy and strong throughout your lifetime. We were all born with an original operating system that it contains your developmental sequence. And we were designed to move through the developmental sequence that was there to tie us together, to build our nervous systems and make our bodies strong enough to explore our world. Well, no matter what age you are, you still have that original operating system in you today. And if you tap back into it, we call that pressing reset. And all the same things it did for you as a child, it will do for you as an adult. Even if you're 99 years old, if you start making those same movements, it will start strengthening your nervous system and tying your body back together. So that's kind of the gist of it.
Now, Tim, one of the things that I started reading a lot of these moves are not that complicated. I mean, some of them are just a big one you talk about is head nods. That's like I actually did a search. That's actually a hashtag. I mean, like that's a really popular one. Rolling on the ground. So, folks, we'll talk a little bit about some of these moves that you do. It's not like we're saying go out and pick up a cinder block and run 12 blocks. So these are just moves that you wouldn't realize actually kind of help you feel real good about yourself. So, Chris, I was watching some of your training videos over there. Are there some key ones that you would want to maybe surprise people with and kind of say, wow, I didn't think that was even an exercise?
It's as simple as just belly breathing, actually. I mean, it really starts off that simple. Is just starting off taking nice deep belly breaths is something that a lot of people don't think about. They're not breathing correctly. So that's where we start you off with just making sure that you're breathing right, using your belly, using your diaphragm, and really making sure that's the key. That's number one right there. That's where you got to start. So that's what I would tell people right away. Make sure that you're breathing right.
Yeah, according to
correctly the way you're meant to breathe.
Yeah, according to what I was reading in a lot of your videos, there's diaphragmic. Am I even saying that correct?
Yeah, diaphragmic breathing.
Diaphragmic, yeah.
All right, we don't use such big words on regular guy mountain biking, but the whole idea over here is that it's belly breathing. Apparently, when you breathe up here, this is like I'm in trouble, fight or flight breathing. But when you're breathing down with your belly, which mine is a little bit bigger than it needs to be right now, but that's more relaxing breathing. And it actually is a way of your body settling down and actually just calming itself down and putting it in a better state. That's pretty much what I got so far out of it so far. Is that my kind of on base?
Yeah, we call it, that'll be like, so you have your fight or flight, and then you have your rest and digest. So we want you to always be in that rest and digest as much as possible.
Gotcha. So I don't know this from the beginning, but where did the original strength actually come from? Is there a key founder? Is this something that you folks have learned and taken forward? How did this even become a thing?
Well, so I had some overuse injuries, and I started feeling fragile. And I was trying to learn corrective exercises to fix myself. And the more I learned, the more I just felt like I was chasing my tail. And a friend of mine kind of inspired me to really just ask God the best way to train to be resilient. So I did, and within a couple of weeks, I picked up a child learning disorder book, or a book about learning disorders in children. And basically, God just kind of connected the dots and wrote a small book called Becoming Bulletproof about the things that babies do, rolling on the floor and crawling and stuff. And that's really where Original Strength came from.
Gotcha. And I actually saw that book. I have, like I said, I'm reading Pressing Reset, Original Strength Reloaded. Actually, a little quote I have over here that I wanted to bring up because it really meant a lot to me when I read it. But you have quite a few books over there. And Original Strength started out as a gym, right? I mean, is that how because you just opened up OSI, Original Strength Institute, but online. It's your online offering now that I want to definitely talk about with everybody. But you have a gym, right? And people go and can take these classes?
That's a Dani question, Dani.
Yeah. So Original Strength itself, there's kind of two different branches here, but all of us started as personal trainers and in the movement and fitness world. And so our basis for everything has kind of grown based off of what we've learned through Original Strength and the other resources that we've had. But we've had a gym or fitness facility or something that's kind of like a gym. So we like to say we're sort of like a gym, but better. So Original Strength Institute has been in business technically for about 7 years. It was under a different name, 8 years actually, right? So it was under a different name before. We've been Original Strength Institute since 2015. And then just over the last year, we've really pushed for our Original Strength Institute online program and just relaunched that program here about a month ago, actually. So we've only been going live with our newest online training program here the last month. So we've got a worldwide company that we go and certify people from chiropractors and physical therapists and everyday people, personal trainers, coaches that want to learn more about Original Strength. So we do that with Original Strength and do certifications and workshops. And then we've got our gym here in Fuquay Arena, North Carolina. Yeah, Fuquay Arena. I'm saying that a few times. And then again, the online training program, which is accessible anywhere.
Cool. Yeah, and that's what I'm kind of tuning in right now. And Chris does a lot of those videos. Is that correct, right, Chris? I mean, I've been watching a lot of your videos so far.
Yeah, I've for the most part have been doing most of the videos, but we all do programmings for the videos, so it's not just me that is making up the workouts and the programs. We all have a part of that, but I do most of the videos.
Cool. All right. Well, let me run some things by you. This is regular guy mountain biking. So what I wanted to hope to do is regular guy. Okay. So if I take a look at my demographics, a lot of the folks that watch the channel and subscribe, they're in their 30s and older. Who do we got online over here? Where's my buddy over here? Oh, there we go. We got Wandering Papa on the line over here. Mountain bike advice. He's in his 60s over here. So regular guys, we don't want to stop what we do. Most of us mountain bike not to win awards or races or money. It's literally our stress release. This is how we get out of the house and forget about our day jobs and just go into a better place. But it is getting a little harder. I mean, my back's not the way it used to be. I've got a lot of my friends out there that want to keep riding, but their knees are hurting them. And I'd love to learn more about just some ideas and techniques that can kind of help us. Yeah, no front brakes. At 38, you're the youngster, buddy. You know, these are important to us. We don't want to stop what we're doing, but sometimes our bodies are making it a little bit tough because we're not really taking care of them correctly. So can you maybe tips, things we should start thinking about, stuff that we should focus in on more to kind of keep us on those two wheels?
Well, you should be able to stay on those two wheels as long as you want. And Chris, you guys were talking about breathing earlier, and it's so easy to dismiss breathing because you think, well, it's your air and you're talking about fight or flight and rest and digest. So that's a big whoop. What does that have to do with my back not hurting or me being able to ride my bike? Well, so your diaphragm is your breathing muscle, but it's also a spinal stabilizer. So it stabilizes your spine and it helps your other spinal stabilizers do their job. And it's actually the captain or the chief of all your spinal stabilizers. And when it's working properly, when you're belly breathing, your spine is safe and protected. So it's really like you've probably heard of your inner core unit before.
Yes.
So your diaphragm is the captain of the inner core unit. And when you're belly breathing, you're strengthening your inner core unit and keeping it reflexively on, non-consciously, so that it's just there when you need it. And how that translates to you is, well, maybe your back doesn't hurt anymore. Maybe you can go on those wrong lines without aches or pains. Maybe so. Basically, though, when all your reflexive stabilizers are on, your body is free to move, and your brain allows your body to move. So I don't know if that answers your question, but something as simple as that, or something as simple as getting on the floor and rocking back and forth, totally integrating all your joints as one whole body instead of thinking about isolating a knee or a hip because you have a bad knee or hip. But rather reintegrating all your major moving parts as one whole body to paint a beautiful movement map in your brain of where everything is, so that your body is moving as one unit as it's supposed to. So it's just really simple stuff, but all that simple stuff will give you what you want out of your body.
The funny thing is, some of the people are talking. My buddy Frank just brought this up, and he's right. It's crazy how little we know about how to actually take care of our bodies. When I was, again, reading and watching your videos and things like that, the head nods, the different rolling, it's amazing how this all ties in, and that things that aren't what you would think related, like you said, breathing. What would breathing have to do with my back? But there's so much going on in there. What was one of the things I read, that when you're rolling was important because your skin is just feeling everything, and it's one of the biggest sensors that actually bring into your brain. Your brain is looking for this information. I mean, folks, this is like, it's actually pretty deep. It's more than just like, I'm not knocking going to the gym and picking up dumbbells. I'm not even remotely knocking it. I'm just saying that there's a lot more to this, just like Frank just said, that we just don't even know how the body works. And that's why I'm loving getting into this so much. You know what I'm saying?
I can knock picking up dumbbells for you. The body doesn't work that way. How about that? That won't keep you on the bicycle longer.
Yeah. Well, there you go. And that's it's just amazing. So if you could pick, let's leave belly breathing out, because that one obviously is important. We know about that one. Dani, I watched your video, and there are apparently, there's 5 different resets or different things, or I don't know if I have the number right, but there are specific resets that you do that are important. What were those all about?
Yeah, so there's the big 5 resets. So we've got breathing, which we just covered, and then we've got head control. So moving our head around, up and down, side to side, all around. We've got rolling around on the floor, we kind of talked a little bit about. There's a whole bunch of different ways we can roll around and stimulate your body and help with balance and control. And then we've got rocking. So down on the hands and knees, rocking forward and back. Great for spinal alignment and getting all the joints integrated all at the same time. So total joint integration. And that really sets us up to move forward into crawling patterns. So contralateral movements. So whether we're crawling like a baby on our hands and knees, or crawling like a leopard or Spider-Man, or even going for a walk, or going for a hike, marching, running, all of these things. These are also considered contralateral movements. So as we are stepping with our right leg, our left arm is swinging forward, and we've got both sides of our body moving at the same time, getting our brain to start triggering and communicating a little bit better with the rest of our body, which is really, really good. So I like to think of some of these movements as simply also like brain games. So, there's lots of people that might go out there and do Sudoku puzzles and sit there and try to test their brain in mental capacities just with writing. Well, you can kind of do some of the same things just by crawling around on the floor and doing some cross crawls too, which is kind of cool.
And those different resets just help your body kind of get back to status quo. It's not going to make your abs ripped. Okay. That's not that kind of thing. It's more of a get your body back to moving normal again. It's so funny. I was on, and I have to go. I've had a bunch of questions folks want to ask me over here. So I got to get to these questions over here. But when I was on the ground, doing all fours and going like this, doing the head nods. And then I started going like this. And I felt, folks, I mean, I don't know if you can even try this right now while you're sitting at home, but turn your head. I was like, holy crap. I can't believe how tight this is. I'm actually nervous going. I'm like, this is not right. But what do I do all day? Don't have to turn my head. Maybe just a little bit because I got a second monitor. I don't have to do anything like that. So all of a sudden it clicked like, damn, I can't even do the most simplest things. Kind of sad, actually, but good that we have people that can help us with this. But now I understand, Dani, why you've got these 5 resets, because they're just getting us back to status quo. Yeah.
So when we are going through the resets, like I said, there's 5 primary resets, and those are just kind of the basic level. And then those break out into a ton of other movements that you kind of can go into and explore a little bit more depending on how your body's feeling that day or what your lifestyle is like. So whether you're sitting at a computer all day, hunched over, staring at the same spot, or you are standing on your feet all day, not really moving, you're a jiu-jitsu instructor and you're helping with certain things, you are a guy that likes to ride a bike, whatever it is, there's different movements that can help a little bit more with each of those. So yeah.
Cool. Well, they're important to know. I need to, like I said, knock off a few of these questions because I always want to make sure I mean, everyone's kind enough to ask. Let's get some of these back over to you. My buddy, Mr. No Front Brakes over here wants to know, we're talking again about breathing. So does breathing also directly connect to your heart rate? So if you can breathe better, does that slow your heart rate down? Are they connected at all?
Yes. So your respiratory rate and your heart rate are definitely connected. So most people are breathing up in their emergency muscles, which is their rib cage and their neck. And so they're not getting full breaths or, filling their lungs up optimally. So naturally the heart rate's going to be higher because their respirations are shorter, shallower, and more frequent. So now take that kind of breathing, you jump on a bicycle or go try to run a mile, and you're already compromised, or you're not breathing optimally anyway. So now your muscles require more blood to get to them because you're working them. So you have to breathe more rapid, more shallow because that's your normal mode of operation. Mm-hmm. So that's only going to increase. But if you learn how to belly breathe and fill your lungs up from the bottom to the top and get the full volume of air into your lungs, you can manage your endurance so much better. You don't give out as fast. Your muscles they don't burn out as fast either because they're getting oxygen.
Well, that actually kind of helps. Chris, there's your answer. I don't know why my buddy Chris, Mr. Precision Dent Removal, he wants to go up hills even faster. He's already killing me when I try to mountain bike with him. He blows by me, but apparently he wants to go up hills even faster. So any breathing tips to get up hills any faster?
Can I give you one tip for that? His name's Chris.
Yeah.
If you will put your tongue on the roof of your mouth while you breathe and pedal, and keep your tongue on the roof of your mouth, you'll have more power output to go up your hills.
Now, real quick, again, I'm referencing. I really have been reading the book, man. One of the things that was in there was basically, what did you say? Swallow. If you just swallow, pretend to swallow, your tongue will go into the place all by itself, and it's right up, kind of like right up there, and that's where you want to have your tongue when you're breathing. And even that had something to do. The placement of your tongue had something to do with the way your head was sitting. Like you said, if your tongue is not against your mouth, you lean forward. If your tongue's better, you have better posture. I mean, this is just crazy stuff. Like why in the world would this stuff be connected? But it is. It's just insane. Am I right about that one?
Yes, everything about you is connected, and your tongue is it's like the magic switch. And when it's where it belongs, most everything else will work the way it's supposed to. Your posture will improve. Your head will get back over your shoulders. It will encourage your diaphragm to be used properly. It's just your tongue's neurologically wired to a lot of things.
Well, actually, Chris is picking on me now. He was basically saying that he was only asking that question because he wanted it from me because I ride uphill slow. So thanks a lot. Okay, Chris. Hey, No Front Brakes moderator. Can you please kick him off the? Okay, thank you. All right, so here we go. Thanks, Chris. Here's something I want to run you. I don't know if this is maybe not directly connected with your movements, but a lot of people are asking over here. We seem to feel better while we're riding. So again, my back hurts. Another buddy of mine over said my back hurts, but when I start riding, it feels better. Another dude over here, when their knees hurt, they start riding. It seems is there any connection? Is it just like your body getting some adrenaline moving, and then all of a sudden you stop and you're just like, boom, you're shot? I'm again, they're not really directed to your exercises. It's a common question I thought I'd ask.
Okay. Yes. So the body's made to move. We're made to move, and movement is good medicine. So sometimes when we get on a bike or we go for a run, we do start to feel better. But then there's so much that goes along with that. There's blood flow. There's hormonal cascades. Feel good hormones that just start flooding your body. But also too, when you put blood to areas that it's not used to getting to, you can flush out a lot of bad things too. And a great way to lubricate your joints so that they feel better is to actually use them. So just simple movement is just very good medicine. Gotcha.
Well, I'm going to run this next question over here by Dani. And also to all of you, but Dani, because you're doing a lot of work with the gym, and also Chris, because of all your involvement with the online classes. The question was, how sustainable is OSI, meaning long term? A lot of the exercises and programs that are out there, they're just not really long term. You're just beating the hell out of yourself, and it's just not something you can always do. But where would you fall this? Is OS more get yourself feeling good to start doing what you want to do again, or is this something that you're supposed to just get on and keep doing? Or is it, I hate to say it like this, but is it like a fad diet? I want to drop 20 pounds before my class reunion and I'm going to go back to eating Doritos. You see what I'm saying? Like, where does this fall in the world of training and keeping your body fit?
Yeah, Chris, I'm going to throw that over to you because I think you usually answer this very well. Pressure.
So I look at it like different ways. So the resets, pressing reset, that's something that you're going to want to do for the rest of your life. So if you look at it, that's like the foundation of everything. So when you continue doing the resets, you're setting yourself up to be, trying to get to your optimal at everything else that you want to do. So the answer, in my opinion, to your question is it's yes and no in a way. It's like yes, you want to do it, and then you to do other things, but also no, it's something that you could just do the resets, and just doing the resets will be good to keep your strength to be able to do the other things. So it can be something that you can do to be able to do better, other things. So in other words, Dani and Tim, they go and do workshops all over at different gyms that do different things, but that pressing reset is going to help them no matter what modality of training they're doing afterwards.
So kind of what,
so makes sense?
No, it does. So basically what you're saying is this could be something you can continue to do. Just keep your body in check. It could also be that 10-minute warm-up thing to keep you in a good place before you want to go and do your weight training or whatever you're into,
yes.
Right? I mean, maybe you like to do some of the other fitness programs. I don't know. It tells you how often I go to a gym over here. I can't even think of what to tell you, All right. Maybe before you want to go jump rope. I don't know. All right. But bottom line is they're good things. I think even some of these to do maybe even before you get on the bike. Just to kind of get
actually just going to,
right.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That it's like to answer the one person's questions or the other, like the people are saying, they're asking, well, my back hurts when I'm riding. And then when I start to ride, it feels better on my knees. Take 10 minutes and press reset, and that's going to help you right from the get-go then. So you don't have to really use your, first 5 minutes of riding your bike as your warm-up then, because your body should be ready to go already.
Interesting. Hey, real quick, I'm just going to take a moment over here. I'm looking at the how many people are online. It keeps on going up and up and changing. So that means we're getting more people online. I want to kind of reintroduce and let everyone know what's going on over here. This is Gene. Regular guy mountain biking. Hopefully I look familiar to you. But we've got Original Strength on the line tonight, and we're talking about pressing reset with your body, getting yourself back into the way you used to feel when you were a kid. Why you used to be able to roll around the floor and not hear so many cracks and kinks and feel like garbage all the time, right? So Original Strength helps you press reset. There's different things you do and movements that you do with your body to help you get your body back to where it used to be. And one of the things I love and I hear about so often, this is actually something I hear from Chris on many of the videos I watch from him and a lot of the reading, is that your body's really not supposed to not feel good. Okay. So when you're 60, 70, 80, okay, you're getting older and certainly things are changing, but your body is never really supposed to not work. You just aren't taking care of it properly. That's why I have some guys that are mountain bikers that are way up there and they're still doing it and they're taking care of themselves. So that's one of the biggest tips I'm learning from all you folks, is that you just have to pay attention to what your body needs. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit about your online offering right now. That's new, right? That's something you just came out with. I don't really know who to direct that to best, but that's something new. So there is a gym in North Carolina. That's kind of a far commute for a lot of us. So they do have something online now. That's been pretty cool. I've been going through that and I've been enjoying it, but I'd like for you to maybe give some people some info on where this even came from.
Yeah, so Original Strength Institute Online is our online training program, and we've got pretty much, we kind of sat here and we decided, hey, we've got something really incredible. We're having, members every day, and stories come in saying literally people's lives have been changed forever. They are able to do things that they've never been able to do before. People are getting spouses back and relationships improved, and it's from everything. And I we can go into stories in a little bit if you want, but there has been some seriously incredible stories of people just feeling better from getting moving more and pressing reset. And so we decided that we really thought that we needed to be able to try to take this to as many people as possible. There's no reason that everyone cannot enjoy and benefit from moving more. So we set out to provide simple at-home training programs, and that's really where we're at right now. So we've got a $10 a month program, and we offer access to a video library that you can go and pick whatever videos that you're feeling up for doing that day. You can pick the resets you want to follow along with, or whatever video works for you. And then we also have a 6-week beginner program that we kind of really direct everybody through. It's got different options through each day of the week. We do is really focus on the idea of good, better, best. So for example, in this program specifically, we're saying, okay, if you can get in 3 days a week of exercise, that's good. Mm-hmm. If you can get 4 or 5, that's even better. If you can get 6 days a week in, that's best. That's awesome. So there's really, no pass fail here. We're really trying to get you just moving and, really embracing where you're at. Also, we really believe that everybody's got to start right where they are. So we'll go and meet you exactly where you're at, Gene, or exactly where Chris is at if he wants to come and hang out with us. And everybody else, we start where you are, and that's really important. So not only will we start where you are, but we're going to help you learn how to start where you are as well. So a lot of us 3 days and be like, well, I used to be able to do this, or so-and-so did that, I should be able to do that too. But you're not that person. You're the person that you are right here, right now. And so we work with you right from there, and we use what you have and just keep moving forward.
So the first thing you go through those videos. There are some various videos. You can pick different movements, different things. Chris is in quite a few of those. I know I watched Dani. I watched you do the 5 resets. So that was the beginning of one of Chris's videos to follow that. And also, folks, Tim has a number of videos on their YouTube channel, which I'll have links to all this in the description. But the idea is you can watch those videos, or you can also go through this 6-week beginner class. And I'm assuming you'll then move into more advanced classes as time moves by and the site matures more and more.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, like you said, talking about stories over here, I want to just I got one over here. And I'm only bringing it up because it really meant a lot to me. I was reading the section of, keep your head up. And it's basically a woman that was pregnant. She basically had everything wrong with her back. Her legs were given out. I'm not trying to turn this into some crazy commercial thing over here, folks, or anything like that. But this one really kind of hit home because she just basically, same thing I'm going through. MRI showed discs that were bulging. Basically, it was like, just bad news. And she was exercising. It wasn't like she was sitting on the couch. She was doing kettlebells and trying to work. It just wasn't working. So I think what's important to note, folks, is that I can't guarantee you that OS is what you should do. I'm just saying that if you don't feel good, there's a reason for that. And you should find out what you need to do to feel good, and you should look down every avenue you can. And I just was very impressed when I read this story, and she's just feeling good now. And it kind of gives me hope because all I want to do is ride my bike. And when I get off my bike, I feel the best, but sometimes I can't even get on it because my back hurts too much. And that's just not how I want to live. I mean, I don't want to, I tell my friends, I'm not going down because of this all day. Like, I mean, I have herniated discs because I type. I'm sorry, that's BS. That's not how I want to live. If I'm going to go down, I'm going to have a hell of a good story, and it's going to have to do with my bike and not that I had to type a Word document. Anyway, hey, Downhill Dewey, thanks for the super chat. Cool. You just extended my biking career 50 years. Hey, dude, I would love to ride for you any day, man. That'd be awesome. We're all trying to hang in there as long as we can and make things happen. Oh, and look at the enduro, bro. So I'm sorry, but I just watched this kid ride over at Mountain Creek the other day, and then I watched this video we had up on YouTube, folks. If you want to take a look at the enduro, bro, him and his friends were killing it, and I was looking at him going, my back would just kill me if I tried to hit those doubles. I got to get these OS guys to help me out, or I'm gonna fall on my face. I'll tell you what. We've been going at it for quite a while over here, but I'd love to get just maybe from each of you, what's your favorite, besides, you can't use breathing anymore. We all know that you like breathing, all right? But let's just talk just for a moment. Maybe your biggest success story and your most favorite exercise. My screen goes Dani, Chris, and Tim. I'm just looking at the screen over here, so I'm going to pick it again. So that's what my screen shows over here. So Dani, give me your most favorite success story. This made you feel good that you're doing the right thing for people, and what you feel your favorite exercise is that just really kind of makes the most difference to you. Sure.
So my favorite success story. There are truly many, but one of my favorite included working with a kid who is now a young adult. So, but he had cerebral palsy, and his goal was to be able to walk. And so his mom brought him in, and he was has been confined to a wheelchair for a long period of time, and we were able to get him onto the floor and get him moving around. And honestly, just that alone, like just the pure joy that you could see from him getting out of his chair and moving and getting to do things just on his own was enough to just be amazing.
That's amazing.
But he really worked hard though, and he was so happy and committed. So we got him crawling, and then a couple months into his working with us, he actually was able to start getting into his own bed by himself, which is something he's never been able to do, and pulling up his own covers on his bed. So in the middle of the night, he would be moving and have to call for help to have someone come and help him adjust his pillow and pull his covers back up. And he was able to start doing this on his own after implementing some of these resets in his life and just getting moving again. So he's probably one of my favorite stories, also because he's really one of my first really big stories. So
that's a bit of a tearjerker. That's awesome. That's amazing.
He's incredible.
Dani, Dani, I want you to talk, because this is one of my favorite stories too, is but how it also changed his his mom's life too. I remember you telling me that, because then she didn't have to get interrupted of what she was doing something else to go run into the bedroom to help him pick up his pillow off the floor, something like that. I want to throw that in because I remember you telling me that too, and that extra story had a lot of impact for me too, how not only does it help the person, but it also helps the people around them too.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's a great point. And I think that's, and I'm hoping, I don't know if Tim's going to talk about Gertrude or not. Tim, were you going to talk about her or someone else?
I really wasn't, but okay. You can talk about anybody you want to.
Okay, no, that's okay. So there's another amazing person and I'm sorry, I'm cutting into two people here, but this story makes me cry every time. But this woman had walked into a friend of ours, our facility, and she had been kind of reclusive, own home. She had had a stroke and was no longer really getting out of the house, and her family was concerned about her. And they finally get her to go into the gym, and she hobbled this walker and holding onto her husband's arm. And she's really, really struggling to get in there. And the husband's really supporting her a lot. And she gets in and she sits down and she starts doing just one simple movement, something called a cross crawl. And this is at our friend's gym out in California, in Modesto. And she starts doing this simple cross crawl and really, really, really chair, touching opposite hand to opposite knee. And about 30, 40 minutes later, Gertrude stood up, walks out of the office without her walker and leaves her husband behind. And she walked out of that room the very first day that she walked in there by herself, leaving her husband in tears behind her. And so not only has she gotten her life back, but her husband's gotten his wife back, and her kids have gotten their mother back. And now Gertrude's in the gym, like crawling on the floor, dragging chains behind her and picking up dumbbell or kettlebells and deadlifting pretty good amounts of weight. So it's pretty incredible.
Hey, let me sneak a question in there real quick, Dani, because my buddy over here, Rob, had asked, does this also work nicely with strength and weight training as well? Is this something that can complement each other as well? I think this was one, like, do you use this together or something like that? Or is it like Chris was mentioning before, use it in the beginning, but weight training, how does this fit in?
Sure, of course. So you can use it, of course, as a workout or as a warm up or cool down. You can use it as active recovery in between sets of different lifts, and you can even use it as your strength training in general. So today we shot a bunch of videos, and I walked in and I was looking at Chris, and he's all sweaty and he's going through the program, and he's like, well, I'm just shooting videos. And, you know, he was crawling around on the floor and, you know, doing some of these different movements, and they can really work you, especially if you guys haven't had a chance to try just crawling yet. You will have no doubt in your mind that that is a strength training exercise. The cool thing is it's a really gentle strength training exercise. So it's actually ridiculous. And I'll hand it over to Chris now. But Chris, I watched your video. I did the basic intro one, and just like Dani said, you're supposed to crawl for 5 minutes. Chris, crawling for 5 minutes, it's hell. I tried to crawl for I can't crawl for 5 minutes. I don't know what part of that's more hell, the fact that I can't, or that it's just harder than I thought. But I'm trying to crawl around the ground, doing exactly like you said. And I was amazed that crawling was going to kick my butt. Is that sad? Do I have a problem? Please help me.
No, not at all.
What's going on, dude?
I like to say, don't mistake it's the simplicity that it's not effective. All right. So yeah, I mean, I can crawl with my knees off the ground for 5 minutes, but I still crawl on my hands and knees though. So I still go back to that because that's how effective it is. If it wasn't, you know, I wouldn't bother doing it, but it's still, even just crawling on your hands and knees is very good for tying your body together. You're still, because you're working that, like how they were saying earlier, like the contralateral movements. That is one of the keys of strengthening your body, because your body's connected like an X from opposite shoulder and opposite hip. It makes an X across your body, and moving contralaterally helps strengthen that X. So that's like, if you want to look at it, that's how you can get really strong just pressing reset without having to add any weights. Then when you start to add load, then you're just talking a whole nother ballgame, a whole new level of just how strong you can get. You know, just start, you know, you start off crawling on your hands and knees. Then when you get strong enough, you take your knees off the ground, you start crawling. Then you get really good at that. Then you start adding a load. You get either some weighted vest and wear that, or you get a harness and you drag a chain behind you while you're dragging or while you're crawling. And I mean, and that's just, that's a whole nother level of strength. And that's just going to keep you resilient for the rest of your life. Just, you know, that simple concept of, but when you're done, you know, even when you crawl with loads though, you don't want to not go back and crawl on your hands and knees though. You know, you want to just do all of it. You don't just think just because you got really good at one that you shouldn't be doing the other. You need to go back to the basics also, and not just worry about just adding the load.
I was really surprised. So Chris, tell us, what was your heart, you know, your heartstring, your story, your success story that just makes you go, yeah, I'll keep doing this. I'm doing the right thing. I'm helping people.
Well, as far as I'm going to keep on doing this, me. I mean, because they've been doing this for a while. I just started with them 4 or 5 years ago. I actually was. The reason or how I met them was I started a jiu-jitsu program, and I needed a place to train. And so I contacted them because I was looking at websites of gyms to go to, and I saw Tim's profile and Dani's profile and like their mythologies of how they train people, because I was a trainer at the time still, but I just wasn't with them. And the more that I was teaching jujitsu there, and without working for them yet, just talking with Tim and talking with Dani, I was just like, yeah, this is exactly what I believe in too, just from watching my kids,
Sure.
you know, growing up, watching how my son would squat on the ground to play, you know, play with his toys and stuff like that. It's like, this is how we're meant to move. We're supposed to move like this. We're supposed to be able, this is how you're supposed to squat. This is how you're supposed to move. And then, so fast forward, I started working, and then they started having workshops. And one of the first workshops they had was at their gym, and just I'm going to go back to breathing. So in the workshops, they'll have you breathing in different ways. So lying on your back, lying on your stomach, lying on your hands and knees. And so there would be a baseline that you would do. You'd do some sort of baseline. And just from switching up a position in my breathing, I've always been able to squat really deep, but I always kind of had this little like spot on my hip, like this little ping that I would feel when I would go down nice and deep and I start to come up. And just taking like maybe 5 to 10 deep belly breaths in a certain position, I've never had that ping again. It's gone away. I can sit cross-legged now, nice and tall. I've never been able to do that before. My knees would point straight up in the air, and I'd always be hunched over because I couldn't sit that much longer, as my lower back would start to hurt. Now I can sit there all day. So for me too, what I love seeing is like when I go to the workshop, I'll still go to the workshops, and watching all of a sudden the different, like a lot of times they don't even realize it, but I can see how much they're moving differently just in the first 15 or 20 minutes of them being at the workshop. Because not everyone at the workshop, at the first workshop that they do, is a fitness professional or, in the field of helping people. Some of them are just there because they want to learn for themselves. So just watching people, kind of, like Dani said, some of them just kind of hobble in or shuffle in. And next thing you know, they're moving around like they've, squatting down like they, never squatted before. And so then as far as the gym's concerned, my own personal one was not too long ago, which I really, there was a woman that came in, and Dani remembered this because Dani was here, and Dani actually kind of helped me out when she first walked in, because I was like, oh boy. But she worked out at the gym. She worked out there for a really long time. And then all of a sudden her neck started bothering her, and she went to go see a doctor, and the doctor told her that she had some disc problems in her neck. And she walked in with her shoulders up like this, like all, really tense and everything, and would turn like that side to side. And she was really scared and really nervous to, even to be able to move. She thought she was done. She thought that she wasn't going to be able to do the things that she liked to do anymore. We got, she came, started training, and I was the one that kind of was the classes that she went to I was the one that was there most of the time teaching. And just watching her just go from that person that you could see the look in her eyes that she basically thought that she was going to be like this for the rest of her life and not be able to do anything that she likes, to doing things now that I even said to her, like I had her do, so one of the things we do is called rocking chairs, where you just hold your knees and rock forward and back. And when she first came in, I did not even, like if she was in class, I never had anyone do that, because I knew there was no way that she would even attempt it and then forget it. Then I would be lost, because, she would not want to come back from that. She would just be like, oh, I can't do this stuff. And then probably about a month into it, I was like, all right, she's ready. And I had her, so I just said, all right, rocking chairs, and showed her how to do it. And she was rocking back and forth. And when she was done, I said, you have never done that when you first walked in. And she's like, yep, there's no way I would have.
That's awesome.
So I thought that was really cool. I mean, again, she got her life back, because she thought that she wasn't going to be able to, do anything anymore.
That's awesome. And
she didn't think she was going to be able to work out.
Yeah. You don't really want to check out, it's like not yet, man. It's like the rest of your lives really shouldn't be dedicated to, pills and, your remote for your TV set. I mean, I love binge watching something on Netflix like anybody else, but that shouldn't be how we end this story, right? That should just be something we want to do with our family because we enjoy it, not because it's the only thing left, Tim, let's hear from Mr. Tim over here. What do you've been helping lots of people. I love watching your videos. I watch a lot of Tim's videos on YouTube, and they always keep me going as well. I enjoy them all, but you've probably reached a lot of people out there and done some life changing.
Man, so yeah, I've been thinking about this, and I think I'm in love with the whole story. There are so many different ones that have come across in the last, well, almost 8 years now. And they're all miraculous to me. And I mean miraculous because they don't really make a lot of sense. But I guess the most recent one was a 12-year-old who was in a car accident, or he got hit by a car when he was 12. He'd been in a wheelchair all his life and couldn't even really couldn't feed himself or have a pincer grip to even grab food to feed himself. And his doctors and his therapist had all given up on him. And then one of our coaches introduced introduced original strength to this young man. And for the first time in 6 years, the kid was able to stand up and give his father a hug.
Oh my God.
And I saw the picture of him standing up with his father, and he hadn't done that in 6 years. And so, and it was more, it's more than just what that kid did, it's what his father was able to have.
Yeah.
So just stuff like that. And that is just one of like
Sure.
hundreds, but they're all like that. And even the small ones where somebody just didn't think they were ever going to be able to tie their own shoe again. You know what I mean?
Right.
The small things, they all make life so much better, worth living. So I guess I'm just in love with the whole story, and because the body it's a miraculous. It's wonderfully made, and the power that's inside of our own bodies is just, I mean, we just don't tap into it, not even close.
I think a lot of us, as I read through the comments, a lot of us agree with that same statement, that we just don't truly understand how our body works, and sadly, I have to say that nothing about the way our lives are set up is designed to train us that. I'm sorry, you might like fast food, folks. I'm not Mr. Preacher. Take it easy, Rob. Thanks for joining on the show, man. I always love it. I'll see you out on the trails, buddy. MTB plumber, he's out. But the way that things are built nowadays, they're not. Look, fast food. You literally drive up to the building. They stick the food through a window. You eat it as you drive home. There's nothing healthy about that, and that's just the way things are right now. And it's just kind of scary that we don't have more ways of getting, just feeling good. I'm just surprised that it takes a bunch of folks like you to put together something like that, or this, just to get us back to the way the body was supposed to be, in the first place. That actually kind of makes me sad, in a sense that we have to do these programs, but happy that folks like you have taken the time out to help us learn about these things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, let me do this. I'm going to thank everyone online. Hey, folks, so Regular Guy Mountain Biking, there's, other than the bikes behind me, we didn't do a lot about mountain biking. Regular Guy Mountain Biking is all about making sure I can offer whatever I can to, because you guys know sure as hell I'm no pro. A lot of you guys have ridden with me, and you know that I'm usually the one in the back making sure no one drops anything, right? So, but the whole thing is, I want to ride. I want you guys to ride. You follow the channel because you're passionate about riding, and anything I can do to help prolong that, I'd like to. And I think OS is a good way of just keeping our bodies in check, so we're able to do everything we want. So I want to personally thank Chris, Tim, Danny. I want to thank you all for being on the show tonight. I really appreciate everything you said and everything you guys are doing.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Thank you, Gene.
All right, so. Oh, no problem at all. Hey, so like I said, folks, I'm going to be going through this training course. I'd love for you to do it with me. The links will be down in the description. Okay, if you'd like to learn more about it, just click on the link and you'll go to their website. You can learn more. Ask any questions you want in the comments below, and it's always easy for me to get in touch with the group. And they can take a look at the comments. They might even be able to answer some of the questions as well. But regardless, we want to continue this and help along the way. And if you listen to this on the podcast right now, just shoot me an email, okay? And we'll take it from there. I also want to make sure I thank everybody on the chat tonight, all my buddies that were out there. You guys really make this worthwhile. Hopefully we're able to help with some of your questions, and I appreciate all of your support. And that's going to do it for tonight, okay? Again, everyone from OS, thank you so much. Everyone on the chat, thank you so much. Keep the party on the pedals, my friends. This is Gene from Regular Guy Mountain Biking, and I'll catch you in the next video. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.